Hey, hey. Yeah, well, I'm Jo. I know some of you's there. So primarily, I guess I'm a puppeteer, a storytelling puppeteer. And as such, I've gandered about a bit. And in one of my ganders, I ended up in deepest, darkest Siberia. And there I ended up meeting a shaminka, a shaman woman, who we just rattled and rattled on, sharing stories. Brilliant. This is about 8 years ago. Yeah, and she promised me to go and tell her stories to the world. I think she thought I was some really important person, not some, two-bit performer. But I promised. And haven't really had the opportunity, the things, all that. And the whole lockdown, it was blessed. I got a great big making shed a week before lockdown started. And I haven't had a making space for 4 or 5 years before that. It was always on the kitchen table, So yeah, it's been really good. I launched in there, and then I went and did this amazing residency online with loads of international puppeteers, where we were just, and I really want to continue this on. So especially the performers out there, I really want to continue something on something like this, where we were just sharing work in progress, and then really giving each other really good crits about it, really exploring it. And from this came the tales I was told to tell, which is the tales the shaman women told me, with a few little bits stuck in. Mainly storytelling, quite some elements of ritual. Is perfect. I can't see my screen very well, so I can't see if that's picking up or not. But anyway, yeah. So it's as it says on the tin, a storytelling puppet show about these tales I was told to tell.
Yeah. And of course, with me having this very stereotypical idea of shaman knowledge, I think there will be some magic agent knowledge that will completely change my idea, and really starting appreciate, what has long been hidden, and still needs to be uncovered. So maybe that's one of the stories you're told to tell. We'll see.
Well, yeah, she had this whole notion that she and her people have kept the stories pure, because stories is where it's all at. From she's a storytelling shaman. I mean, she's going to say that, isn't she? But they've kept them pure, and these stories got messages. These stories got very powerful messages about the ways of things, and understanding the ways of things. You can't live with that in the world unless you understand the ways of things. And us, her little cousins, as she called, anybody else wasn't from her tribes. Us little cousins, we kind of lost our way, and this is why I had to go and tell the world these stories. And somehow it felt a bit weird, telling them to a very localized audience. And maybe it's because this is the chance where you can tell them, online, you can tell it to the world.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I've waited till now. Who knows?
Speaking of audiences, Daphne asked whether this is something for all ages, or whether you would recommend it to, I don't know, teenagers over 12, or would it be something for children?
Well, I've always struggled with this question, because I'm primarily a street festival performer, which means everything is to all ages, unless I specifically make for I've made some for particular classes, particular ages, age range, and then I totally zoom in. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything inappropriate for earlier age ranges, but you know, it's attention. You know, your 12-year-olds, because I really struggle with the question of appropriate age range. But yeah, there will be nothing inappropriate for those age ranges. Whether they will have the attention, I imagine so, because it's got it's storytelling. I'm keeping the thread by storytelling, but I'm going into rod puppetry, like you saw, a bit of shadow puppetry, a few other playful bits and pieces. So it's 40 minutes, but it's not all one style. There's a lot of kind of changes. There's 3 major stories in that, plus, you know, my story. So there should be enough to keep interest, if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah. Oh, that's really helpful. Thank you. Thank you.